mother-in-law called CPS on me for starving my son, and it backfired beautifully. My mother-in-law showed up at my house without calling. She walked straight into the kitchen where my son was eating lunch and looked at his plate. What is this? Rice and chicken again? This poor boy is wasting away because you won't feed him real food. I told her for the 100th time that he has bad allergies and this is what he can safely eat. She rolled her eyes. There's nothing wrong with him. You made up those allergies because you like the attention. My son looked up at her. Grandma, I'm not making it up. I went to the hospital. She bent down and grabbed his chin. Sweetheart, your mother has tricked you into thinking you're sick. She's got you believing you'll die if you eat anything good because she likes when people feel sorry for her. She's using you. I told her to get her hands off my son, but she didn't let go. You have turned my grandson into a nervous wreck who thinks he'll die if he eats a slice of birthday cake. What kind of childhood is that? You're crazy and you're making him crazy too. My son pulled away with tears in his eyes. I'm not crazy. My mother-in-law stood up and looked at me. This is child abuse. Someone needs to do something about it since my son won't. She grabbed her purse and walked out. I thought that was the end of it. But then 2 days later, a woman flashed a badge at my door and said she was from Child Protective Services. She'd received a report that my son was being starved. My mother-in-law was sitting in my living room and she didn't even try to hide her smile. I told the agent my son has bad allergies and I could show her his records. When I went to grab them, my mother-in-law's voice cut across the room. She printed all that off the internet. Anyone can fake papers. I showed the agent allergy tests from 3 different doctors and photos of what happens when he eats the wrong thing with his face swollen shut and his throat closing. My mother-in-law laughed. She only takes him to doctors who tell her what she wants to hear. The agent asked to see the kitchen. I showed her the fridge and pantry where everything was labeled. My mother-in-law followed us in. Of course she stocked up before you got here. Last week that poor boy was begging for real food and she watched him starve. My son was sitting at the table and he looked up at the agent. That's not true. My mom takes good care of me. My mother-in-law shook her head. She's trained him to say that. She's faking his sickness for attention. The agent asked my mother-in-law to step into the other room. My mother-in-law smiled at me on the way out. Finally, someone who will actually listen to me. I could hear them talking but couldn't make out the words. My husband came home and found me shaking at the table with our son in my arms. I told him what was happening and his face went white. He held us both and we waited. A few minutes later, the agent came back with my mother-in-law behind her. My mother-in-law looked scared. The agent turned to me. Ma'am, I finished looking into this. Your son is clearly well cared for. His records are real and I have no concerns about this home. The agent turned to face my mother-in-law. By the way, filing a false CPS report is a crime. I'll be sending this case for legal review. My mother-in-law spun toward my husband. Tell her I was just trying to protect him. My husband said nothing. Her voice cracked. I'm your mother. Tell her. My husband still didn't say a word, so the agent handed me her card and left. My mother-in-law started crying. Are you seriously going to let this happen? I could go to jail because I tried to save your son. My husband walked to the front door and opened it. Get out, she laughed. Excuse me? He didn't blink. I've watched you treat my wife like garbage for 8 years. I've watched you sneak our son food that could kill him. Get out and don't come back. She stood frozen. You're choosing her over your own mother? He held the door open wider. I'm choosing my son. She grabbed her purse and walked out without a word. He closed the door behind her and flipped it off.